Hello Earthlings, Ultraviolet Browner from the Bronze here. For today, I will be teaching you everything as far as boxing goes at home, the fundamentals, and how to use it in your everyday life. Now this is specifically for those who do not have the money to pay for a gym membership or one-on-one training. So if you need to learn out of the comfort of your own home, I'm here to help you out. Now mind you, the best place is to learn is at a gym, because that one-on-one training is like no other. You will get better so much quickly, it doesn't even make sense. Like, okay, prime example. A person that has been doing Taekwondo or other martial arts, I'm not trying to put crap on any other martial arts, but may have done Taekwondo or Capoeira or whatever for like 5 years. And then a boxer has been training for 6 to 9 months, sparring as much as possible and doing all of the necessities to get to where they need to go. That boxer, 9 out of 10 times, could actually beat those other martial arts. That's the crazy thing. But the reason why is because it's an applied science that we focus on day in and day out to sharpen our craft and sharpen our skills as far as the sparring goes. Like kickboxing, boxing, Muay Thai, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, wrestling, all of those martial arts. It's a dedicated craft of people that are there to try to engineer it to the highest ability. Now, as far as boxing from home, you gotta know the fundamentals, and the fundamentals start with the boxing stance. Now, just like I am facing you, right in that square stance, you're gonna bring that back foot, or right foot right outside that front foot, at a 45-degree angle, and you're gonna change that front foot as well as in a 45-degree angle. Keeping that back foot on your toes because you don't want to be flat-footed, just in case you need to get in and out of danger. Bring those hands forward from here, elbows nice and tight to the body, chin tucked into the chest, keeping that posture straight. And that back hand is going to be a little bit closer to the eye, and this left hand or right hand, if you're a southpaw, is going to be right below that front eye, so you can see all the incoming threat that is coming your way. So we're going to start off nice and simple. So when you get into the stance, right, we're in the boxing stance. We're rocking, we're grooving, we're just trying to get comfortable. Everything's a dance. Boxing is rhythm and flow, right? When you step out to the right, the first foot that is stepping out to the right is the foot that is closest to that direction. So right foot, right, left, follows right belong to it. Right after it. So it's just like this here. And it's the same vice versa going to the left. This is the closest to the left. That is the foot that is going to the left, and the right foot follows right behind it. Same with going forward. Which foot is pointed forward first? You guessed it, that front foot. So that front foot takes a step first, back foot follows right behind it. Staying true to that boxing stance, and it's the same going back. Back foot goes back first, front foot follows right behind it, just like this here. All right, now when you move around, you want to try to move around where it's like a little hop skip to where you're staying in that stance and you're not losing the stance. Because a lot of people, when they start out, they intend to go here, here like this and crossing. And then when you get all crossed up in your foot, all it takes is one little clip of a punch. You go down and it's gonna look like you got hit by a good clean punch and your equilibrium is off, and that's the reason why you're down. You don't want it to be that way. You want to stay true to that stance, okay? So once you got that stance down, we're gonna get into the blocking, right? A strong defense creates a great offense. Remember that. A strong defense creates a good offense. Because if you do not have good defense, you could be all the brawler guy you want. But guess what? Those punches can be nullified by good defense and athleticism. So if that person's able to evade, slip, even take your punch, give it all you got, and you have terrible defense, you're gonna get knocked out or you're gonna lose the fight. Something bad is gonna happen to you. So I do not want that to happen. So really use your eyes, never look away from the oncoming punches. So when you're blocking, all you gotta do is just bring that hand up. Bring that hand up. Or same time, getting into that high guard, just like this here. So you can see everything coming, so it's easy to just slip right into that if they're throwing headshots. And it's very simple again, if they're throwing haymakers, you're dipping, just like that. Dip, and you're keeping that posture straight. Just like that here, dip, keeping that posture straight, and then forward, just like that. So haymaker, boom, It's a very subtle. Basically, you're just dropping a head length. That's it. You don't need to drop all the way down here. Just like one head length to dodge a punch. Just like that there. All right, now, the second to that is using a little bit of your athleticism to avoid an oncoming punch. So you step back. Just like this here, stay in your guard, step back, don't miss. This foot is gonna be used as a propeller to spring you forward, and you can come with a counter or whatever it may be or what's appropriate for that situation. Now getting back into the block, I didn't mean to go off in a tangent, it's just like this here, but when you block to the body, you don't do this. Because when you do this, guess what's exposed? Your temple, your chin, everything. You get clipped, bye-bye. I don't want that to happen to you. So we're gonna keep that guard up high. Just dip. It's a nice little dip. Again, like head length. And this is what's gonna catch the punch to the body. Your elbow. Your elbow is what's gonna catch the punch to the body. Be cognizant of that. Because it can be very easy if it's a lot of punches or a barrage of punches coming at you, and you're getting all nervous and you start to look away and you start doing this, and then they come back up with a headshot, bye-bye, lights out, game over. I do not want that to be you. So again, you want to stay in that true boxing stance, and again, this is the foot that leads in that direction that it's going. Just the same vice versa. If you're going to the left, this foot that's leading that way already, this foot leads off first and then that other foot follows. Same going forward and going back. So when we go in here, boom, all right? Boom. That's the body, all right? Now the next thing we're gonna get into is slipping. Slipping, again, just the same concept where I'm dipping with a head length. You're gonna be turning about a head length away. So my head here, you're turning one head away so you're able to dodge that oncoming punch. And when you're starting out, it can be very awkward and hard to understand like what it is the body mechanics are doing in that moment. But if you want to make it as easy as possible for you, just pivot. You see how my posture's here? I'm pivoting and I slip the punch. And the cool thing about this is that I'm maximizing my weight distribution. So when I come back, either with a hook or uppercut, all the power is in to that punch. And then you connect from that slip, they can be knocked out, fight's over, okay? So if you're slipping, straight punches, just simply pivot. Same, going to the right, just simply pivot that lead foot. All right, so just like this here, that's how you're gonna dodge punches coming to the head at first. And then eventually it can come here just like this here, you don't really need to pivot. Over time that'll come to you. But to make it easier for you, just start now, just pivot your foot, keeping that guard up, and then same, going to the other side. Now the next thing, okay, this is the fun one, is when you're doing a bob. A bob is like a slip, slip, dip. So slip, slip, dip. That's a bob there. So slip, slip, dip. So basically, again, like the pivot here, dip. And again, you want to keep that head length. You do not want to over abuse that because it can be hard to try to come back up to avoid those haymakers. So you're staying in that high guard. Again, you're moving around, and this is going to help you sharpen your skills as well as get better at shadow boxing. And then the next evade tactic, I know I'm going to go through a lot in a short amount of time. If you need to run it back so you get those rudimentaries, the basics, and the fundamentals, okay? So basically from here, when you pivot to evade, say a hook, coming to the head, rolling with it, you do not want to roll with your shoulders. You don't want to do this, okay? You don't want to do that. That is a big no-no. That is incorrect because you're going to lose your footing, you're going to get off balance, and if they are aware of what you're doing to evade, they catch up to you, it's a high-speed chess match, they know your next move, you get clipped, knocked out, again, game over. So when you're getting into it, okay, you're pivoting from the hips. Stepping, pivoting, okay? So pivoting from the hips. And it's the same going back to the right. I'm pivoting from the hips. Pivoting from the hips. and I'm keeping that guard up, pivoting from the hips and going right back into that boxing stance, that true boxing stance. So when I'm ready to propel forward or go back, I'm able to do so in a quick manner. All right, so here, or if you need to evade too, as I get into it, as what I just did right now, you can shuffle. So the shuffling is just like this here. That can be a little bit hard to understand at first, but you're gonna act as if your feet is on a pendulum. So I'm shuffling here, just like that. Okay, I'm shuffling here, go forward, just like that, and you add the pivot. And then as you start putting things 1, 2, 3, whatever together, that's when you start getting into your shadow boxing. So right back into that boxing stance, right? So remember, guard, catching that right, step back, dip, slip, and then bob, just like that here. Okay, right back to that stance, pivoting back. Again, you're gonna be on the ball of your foot and pivoting from the hips, just like this here. All right, I know you wanna throw punches, I know you wanna get into that right now, but you have to walk, crawl even, before you walk, and then eventually you can get into running. So if you do not get the basics down and you have terrible footwork, you are always 9 out of 10 times going to get caught by a person that is pinpoint precise with their punches. And the only way you can get away with bad footwork is crazy, godlike athleticism. But I don't want you to use your athleticism all the time, because sometimes if you don't have a chin and that athleticism doesn't work for you in that moment, you get clipped, boom, again, lights out, game over. So I don't want that to happen to you. Keep that guard up. All right, so again, you get into that step back to avoid the cross, and right back here, keeping that guard high, blocking the body. All you gotta do is just do a nice little dip, and your elbows are gonna catch. Now, when we get into the punches, everything is coming from a straight line. And it's the same with the hooks and uppercuts. My hands here, that's it. That's all you gotta do. You don't have to come here, all right? Unless you're gonna do a gazelle hook or something like that, or a spring hook out of nowhere to catch them off guard. Unless you're gonna do that, but that takes time, that's a little bit more experience. You wanna get used to having nice, close, tight, sharp punches. You do not have to throw all your power into the punch. Most of the time, it's about pinpoint precision. If you look at people like Terrence Crawford, Floyd Mayweather, Sugar Ray Leonard, Muhammad Ali, what do they focus so much on? The basics. Dimitri Bivol, Canelo Alvarez, they focus a lot on the basics. So if you have the basics down, you're nice and tight in that posture, and it's impenetrable, and you're throwing from this true stance right here. Everything will add up, everything will make sense, and it will work for you, but you gotta constantly work on your craft to get it to the highest level. So I'm punching here. Wanna make sure this shoulder is in the pocket of that cheek. First 2 knuckles are making contact, okay? So you can either throw it from right here, you can step when you throw it, you could have your hand already out and flicker it to kind of throw them off to set up for a big power shot. Or you could literally throw it like a full power shot, but it takes time, and then I'm advancing and I'm torquing that hip right into that punch. So it can feel like a power shot, especially if you got heavy hands. So again, it's gonna come from that center line. So I'm stepping, just like that there. And then right back. So I'm stepping, keeping that elbow nice and tight to the body, coming in a straight line. Now it's the same thing with the cross, except you want to fully bring that hip over, pivoting that back foot, and that a hand right behind will follow. All right, so hip, foot, just like that. Hip, foot, just like that. So all together, It's just like that there. You just want to focus on the technique, moving around, just like that there. And again, same, when you get into the hooks, nice, short, and crisp. It does not have to be like this. It does not, no. Incorrect. And do not let anybody tell you different. You can either pivot to maximize the power. It's still just enough power if you do not pivot when you are throwing that hook. But if you're going into a speedy combination, you don't have to worry about the pivot. The punch will work itself out for you. So if I'm here and I'm just trying to throw it as fast as possible, you don't need to pivot. As long as the form is there with the hip rotating to it, and your elbow stays in a 90-degree angle, right back to the face. It can either be hand vertical or hand horizontal. Either way is correct as well. It's going to do damage right back to the face. And it's the same with that back one. But the only thing with the back one, yes, you don't have to pivot, but it just feels a lot easier if you pivot just because it's coming from such a long way. And then right back to the face. And it's the same when you're doing an uppercut. So right back to the high guard. The uppercut is literally coming from the body. 90 degrees. Boom, 90 degrees. I'm transferring weight, but you don't have to go all the way to the side. Transfer a little bit. That lead uppercut. Bam, bam, bam. Just like that there. Keeping that guard right back up. All right, so those are the 6 punches. And that's the basic stance. Now when we're getting into shadow boxing, just try to put everything and see where you stand right now. Of course, it takes time. You gotta be building up on this every single day. Have fun with it. Try to get a good workout and do what you need to do to get better. So you're gonna work on this every day. You're gonna into that shadow boxing. So we're here, right? Elbows nice and tight to the body. Got your guard up. Slip, all right? Slip, doesn't matter if it's left or right. Slip. Jab, pivot, right? From the hip, ball your foot, pivot. Advance while dipping. All right, advance while dipping. Step back, jab, pivot back to the right. Jab, keeping that guard up. Acting as if you have the actual opponent in front of you. So you're trying to read their body. You're gonna read their body from the shoulders and the chest. Everything will be kind of telegraphed in that moment. Don't look into their eyes. You don't have to look into their eyes. I get it right before the match, if you want to use that as intimidation, but when you're fighting, look here at the shoulders. That's where you want your eyes to be, because your shoulders will kind of give off what you're going to do before you even do it. So you're going to look there, you're stepping to the right, jab. Stepping to the left, jab. You're stepping forward, jab. You're stepping back, jab. Keeping that high guard. Slip left, hook. All right, advance with the dip. Going back with the dip. Pivot to the right, just like that here. Doing a combo, jab, cross, left hook. Right back to the face, pivot to the front. On the ball of your foot, jab, cross, left hook again. Right back to the face. Then we're gonna do cross, left uppercut, right hook. So cross, boom, just like that there. Right back. And you're gonna stay tight in that boxing stance, moving side to side, pivoting to the right, stepping back, pivot back to the left, jab, jab, keeping everything nice and tight. Thank you for joining me today on this path to the ultraviolet. Hopefully you got everything you need to get out of this video. If you like the video, please subscribe. But other than that, stay with peace and love, everyone.